Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. As per usual, I will be going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo, Vertcoin, Monero, Omise, and Lisk. I'm also going to be quickly covering IOTA and Coin, which are seeing pretty big moves today. And of course, all of those in a more detailed technical analysis in just a second. If you haven't purchased cryptocurrencies yet, go check out Coinbase. I have a referral link in the description where you can get $10 free when you sign up. They're not a sponsor, I just use them myself. And let me update you on what's been going on with the general market and the altcoins. So we did actually see higher highs, new all-time highs actually today for both Bitcoin and Litecoin, maybe even some other coins. But Bitcoin and Litecoin saw pretty massive moves today. Unfortunately though, they pulled back quite a bit. Bitcoin moved back down to 10,600 within the span of 2 hours. And Litecoin went from $107 all the way back down to $97. They are bouncing pretty strongly now, so we'll see what happens. Overall, though, it's a very good sign that they made new all-time highs. I wanted to make sure that we saw a move above the previous highs before kind of considering that we were back in the uptrend / bullish mode. And it seems like we are, so to be honest, there's just a huge amount of strength in the cryptocurrency market. This is in large part due just to all the newcomers, that are coming in and just buying up the prices. So there's not much room for prices to fall. With that being said, though, there is a lot of volatility, right? Like you can see with the big drop that we had after, making new all-time highs. That just kind of puts me a little bit at unease on maybe what's to happen in the future. Obviously, volatility creates a lot of uncertainty. It becomes more and more hard to predict what's going to happen. So that's just, something to be aware of. But overall, the prices of these cryptocurrencies are still moving higher, right? And as far as the big movers today, we have IOTA up 30%. I'm not sure if there's any news, but what's for sure is that, we're now above $1 and getting very close to $2. That was extremely fast. I think that we'll be testing $2, in no time at this point. I'm actually, like I said, going to be making an updated price prediction for IOTA, Cardano, Litecoin, and Einsteinium. So, I've got a lot of requests for that, and I'll definitely get to that as soon as I can. Probably a couple of those will come out today, so stay tuned for those. But like I said, IOTA here probably going to start testing $2 very shortly, and truly made a massive recovery compared to its downtrend. Is in a great uptrend momentum right now, and yeah, nothing to complain about here for IOTA. Relatively mixed today, in the market. Bitcoin and Litecoin fell back down and are kind of flat right now, but they did have a big move today. Some are doing better than others. We have Monero pulling back a little bit, kind of flat. But some of them are having some big moves. Vertcoin down about 2%. Pivx has actually been doing really well. I haven't been keeping up exactly with the price movement, but it's been continuously moving upwards. Coin doing pretty good here. And finally, the last one that I really wanted to point out was good old Coin, which is back in the top 100 ranking, back above $1. So that'll be really interesting to see what will happen. And it's probably going to start moving higher from there. This is the second time that it's moved above $1. So it should definitely hold more this time and really start climbing, I guess, to $1.50 now. Up 25% today. Navcoin also, getting a bit of a bounce here, up about 4%, still above $1, so that's good to see. And let's jump right into the daily crypto update technical analysis side of things. So Bitcoin, like I said, pretty volatile today because although it did make a new high, right, the previous high and previous all-time high was over here at $11,395 on Bitstamp at least. So we broke above that, obviously made a new all-time high, which is a great sign. We're making, higher highs, higher lows now, still holding the uptrend, and we'll see how long that'll last, obviously. But at this point, I'm not going to be making any predictions on when we're going to see a drop or anything like that. It's just, with cryptocurrencies and stock, when they're in such a strong trend, you can't really try to predict when it's going to stop, right? You just have to react to when things actually start turning downwards and then kind of make your decision from there. But it's just too dangerous to try and call, the top at this point with how it's acting and the amount of strength it has. So until I see, a clear sign that we're going to start moving lower, like, a true break of the uptrend, then at that point, it'll be okay to do that. But for now, I kind of just expect it to keep going higher, which is pretty crazy, but it looks like we're going to get to $12,000 pretty soon. We put in a high today of 11,800. And of course, like I said, we sold off a bit from that, so we do have a pretty big upper wick, but it's still a pretty healthy candlestick as of right now, looking good on the MACD and the RSI, still moving higher. It is very high here, up at 83, above the downtrend line, but like I said, there's no real sign yet of any kind of drop, and every time we get some flat candlesticks, which could signal a reversal, we just get confirmation the next day of a move higher, right? This has happened now 2 days in a short period of time. We actually got some pretty nice volume today as well. So no real signs of weakness. The only thing would be, you know, the volatility and the pretty big pullback we had after hitting 8,100. But that could just be because of, you know, obviously making a new all-time high. People kind of sell off at those levels, and then we come and test it back. That's pretty normal. But it is very volatile, right? That's something to be aware of. And I'm not a big fan of volatility. Obviously, traders do like that because it leaves more room to really, you know, make profits. But it is pretty hard to predict. It's a very uneasy and uncertain environment, and we'll probably see that, you know, for a while still, I would say. So that's just something to be aware of. Ether. Let's see what's been going on with Ethereum. So bounced off the uptrend line over here. That looks like it's holding pretty well. Put in a high today of $483. What I like though with Ethereum's move is that we put in a low today, and that's where we bounced after getting our pullback at $450. So that really seems to be a strong support level, which is good to see. Now I think we're just going to climb up this uptrend line and, you know, make our way hopefully pretty soon back to $494. Probably going to get a break above that. And yeah, I mean, the MACD did pull down a little bit, but I do think that'll start kicking back up as well. Same thing on the histogram, and the RSI now getting back closer to that 70 line. We're going to see if we're going to break above that. Same thing, you know, for all of these cryptos, Ethereum, Litecoin. The only time I would get concerned now is really when we break out of the uptrend. You know, that would be this line or even this line, this trend line right here for Ethereum. And until we get a break of those uptrend lines, I don't think it's the right idea to try and predict the pullback right now with the amount of support that these cryptos have. So let's see what's been going on with Litecoin. Obviously pretty volatile as well today, but did put in a really nice high. Went all the way up to $107.49. Pretty big upper wick though for Litecoin, right? So it did sell off pretty strongly. This is 2 days in a row. You know, sometimes what this is more or less an inverse hammer candlestick, which is a bearish sign, but it can also just be, you know, a bit of a test of the higher levels, and then the next day we're able to really make a move higher. So it kind of depends. Right now, I'm not really concerned about that because there's just so much strength, like I said. And we are pretty far away from the uptrend line. That's something to be aware about, though. We have our support over here at 98.30. MACD still looking amazing. Really no sign of weakness. Histogram still looking pretty strong as well. We are moving a little bit lower on that, a bit of a downtrend. Broke above our downtrend line on the RSI, so still looking really strong for Litecoin, despite that fact that it had a pretty strong pullback. Right, it went from 107 to where we are at now, which is 101.20. You know, it's been hanging around that area now for a while, and it seems to be relatively tame in that zone. So, you know, could wait a bit there, or already start moving back higher. Like I said, so much strength in these cryptos right now, especially with all the futures trading news coming into play, and then, you know, the big institutions and stuff. The prices aren't able to find any room to fall lower, really, to be quite honest. Going over to Ripple, and obviously, you know, we could see a pullback at any time. That's obviously possible, but what I'm saying is, with this type of environment, it's like with the stocks that have continuously been going up. You know, to try to be the person, and that's kind of what I did in the past couple of days, to be honest, but to try to be the person who predicts the fall before it starts happening, it just will always never work in your favor because you need to follow the trend, basically. Now, for Ripple, a little bit of a different price action here than the other cryptos. Very flat candlesticks now, 2 days in a row. Pretty much completely flat today, which is pretty crazy. But still holding above the middle band over here, currently sitting at 23 cents. That's the brown line. At this point, what do I expect for Ripple? You know, I don't really see it doing much. Probably just going to consolidate a bit, and we'll see where it'll make a direction from there. But for now, it looks like it is going to consolidate. You know, we have the upper and lower Bollinger Bands that are closing in on the price. We did dip below the orange line on the MACD. That's obviously a bearish sign. RSI not doing much. So for now, I would just say some consolidation until we really see a clear move to the upside or downside for Ripple, but it looks like it's going to consolidate a bit more in that 24-cent area for now. Going over to Neo, let's see if I can get the ticker right. And let me know, by the way, if you want me to do any other price prediction videos. I'm going to cover all those updated ones, like I said. But if there's any other cryptos that you want me to go over, definitely let me know. And Neo looks like very similar price action to Ripple, actually, with a lot of a very flat candlestick today, extremely flat candlestick. So a pure doji candlestick, really. Almost never seen candlesticks this flat, actually. And, you know, the RSI is kind of coming back. Sorry, the MACD is kind of turning back over a bit, but it is still downtrending. Same thing kind of on the histogram. RSI not really doing much. And at this point, you know, I'd say kind of the same thing as for Ripple. Now, the Bollinger Bands are closing in a little bit less than on Ripple, but, you know, very flat candlestick, kind of in the center of the Bollinger Bands. So I do kind of expect some consolidation here for Neo. We're going to see if we're going to be able to hold above the middle band. That'll be pretty key to see if there's going to be a bit of a pullback or not. The middle band is currently sitting at $36, and that's the brown line right over here, right? So let's move on with our daily crypto update, and now go over to Vertcoin, which saw a massive increase yesterday. And I'll go ahead and give you all an update on what's been going on with Vertcoin. So obviously, you know, when you get those big pullbacks, when you get those big moves upwards, wow, actually I didn't even notice that it went as high as $9.43, so that explains the bit of a pullback that we had. Unfortunately, those higher prices didn't hold at all, which, you know, it is what it is. When you make those big moves, you know, they're not necessarily sustainable the first time around. It takes some time to really put in a base and support to be able to reach those higher prices. So it was trading, I think I mentioned that actually, that it was trading pretty high above the upper Bollinger Band, and that wasn't necessarily sustainable. So it looks like we did get a pretty big sell-off from there, currently trading at $7.60 with a very flat candlestick, completely overextended on the MACD. We'll see if that'll start dipping back lower. RSI taking a little bit of a hit, but still trading above 70. What do I see happening in the future? You know, it really depends. I would say maybe it probably has to slow down a little bit, you know, to get a bit of a more slow and steady move upwards. So that might take some time. You know, we are very high up above the middle band. So I would say maybe some consolidation. I don't think we will see, you know, a dip below $7.20 right away, though. But we might see a little bit of consolidation and a more slow and steady move up towards $9 and $10 really is the big key level that we want to see. I think it's going to get there. It may take a bit of time, but, you know, maybe in the next 2-3 months we can already see a move above $10, to be quite honest. Definitely a crypto that I'm going to be paying attention to, and probably one of my favorite out there. I really need to buy some because I haven't actually had a chance to. I'm very focused, you know, with Litecoin and Bitcoin, but I missed out on an opportunity. That's completely my fault. And at least you all, I know a lot of you got to benefit from this. I'm happy about that. You know, I'm doing my own thing with my trading, Bitcoin and Litecoin. But my goal as a trader and the owner of this YouTube channel is really to try to point out some opportunities to you and to help you all become better traders and investors is really my goal here. So, you know, if I can benefit you, I will receive, you know, the same value in return in some way or another. And let's see what's been going on with Monero here, if I can find Bittrex. So very flat candlestick once again, still uptrending, you know, starting to taper off a little bit. We do see the histogram starting to lose a bit of strength. RSI below the 70 line, not really doing much here. You know, at this point, we're kind of having trouble going back above $196.40. I would say maybe a little bit of pullback back to the uptrend line over here. You know, $184 for Monero would be kind of likely. That would also be some pretty healthy price action to come back and get a test of that. And yeah, kind of just trend along that unless we see a break of that. But for now, we can just expect it to trend along the uptrend line for now. So nothing much to say there. And let's move over to Omise Go, and then finally the last cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update, which is Lisk. So Omise Go, a very flat candlestick. Yet again, you know, a lot of these cryptos trade in similar ways. I actually get a lot of questions about that, asking me, why do all these cryptocurrencies trade, you know, and have the similar price action? And that's mostly just due to the fact that, you know, a lot of them follow Bitcoin's lead. And So whatever Bitcoin is doing, they're going to follow pretty much. And also just the fact that, you know, we're in a very, we're in a shared sector, if that makes sense, right? So a lot of the same money is going around, and they kind of just follow each other's prices automatically, right? When cryptocurrencies are doing well, most cryptocurrencies will be doing well at the same time, right? Now, as far as the RSI goes, still above the uptrend line, which is good. Let's see, I can draw this in different ways, but we're still trading above the uptrend line, moving a little bit lower, but nothing really to worry about as of right now. MACD is still looking fine, histogram as well. As far as the price action goes, you know, we did get a pretty flat candlestick yesterday. We moved pretty high, though, above $10.84. We're currently experiencing a very flat candlestick. What do I see happening here? You know, I think that just maybe a bit of a consolidation, but I think we're going to get our move really above $10. Yeah, I guess maybe even above $10 and hold above that pretty soon here, you know, maybe in the next week or two even. So maybe just a bit more consolidation, but we should really be getting a breakout that can hold very shortly here for Omise to go. And finally, Lisk, which has been, you know, it got a pretty strong pullback, recovered a bit. 3 days now of very flat consolidation candlesticks. We still have the MACD that's looking pretty good. It's setting up kind of how I want it to, with the histogram coming back up, as well as, you know, the blue line not flattening out and coming back up yet, just yet. So we do really want to see it get closer and closer to that orange line, and that may take some time. Like I said, over here, you know, we got some tests of that, but it didn't really happen until a while. So we could see some pretty similar action to that. If this MACD line doesn't start, you know, really getting closer shortly, we'll probably see a little bit more of a pullback. I wouldn't really be worried about that. I like Lisk, but that would definitely make sense comparing to the previous price action. Otherwise, we'll probably get a crossover at that point if that doesn't happen, and a pretty strong move to the upside, where we're back in more uptrend motion. For now, though, we're in a very consolidating pattern, with, you know, we're kind of between that $8.60 and $6.90 support and resistance levels. So kind of just expected to trade along that. For now, we are trading above this support line of $7.63. We'll see if we'll hold above that, but kind of just expect more consolidation here until we get a clear breakthrough to the upside or downside, I would say. So this is the end of the daily crypto update. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for everyone for watching. Hope you have a great day, and yeah, see you next time.